love movies and movie discussions, you've come to the right place. Who am I, you ask? I am the Wiz, and I'm here today to review the 2019 Christmas animated film Klaus, featuring the voice talents of Jason Schwartzman, J.K. Simmons, Rashida Jones, and Joan Cusack, directed by Sergio Pablos. There was one thing that I kept thinking about when I started watching Klaus last night, and that is, are they purposely trying to ape The Emperor's New Groove? Because I swear, there was a lot in the first 30 minutes that just reminded me of that movie. The first thing is the main character, who not only acts like Kusco, but also sounds like Kusco, and basically does the same types of jokes as Kusco as well. And then as the film goes on as well, there are a lot of similarities to that movie. And it was honestly kind of distracting, and that's mainly because I'm a huge fan of that movie. It's one of my favorite Disney films. Right then and there, I kind of had a small issue. It's like, oh god, this is reminding me a lot of that movie. But the other problem is the humor that Klaus has is mostly a miss for me. And I think it's mainly because it reminded me so much of Emperor's New Groove. But the other thing as well is that the film has this very dark edge to it in the first half of the film. A lot of it's very grim, it's very dark, and the humor they use in this I don't think really fits very well. I don't think it detracts from the film overall, but I did find myself not laughing at the certain scenes in the film where it was really intending for you to laugh, especially when it comes to Jesper, who is played by Jason Schwartzman. I think his character in the first half of the movie is just grating and annoying. I honestly could not stand him. Yes, the humor does not work. However, I do like this film a lot, and one of the reasons why is the creative backstory of Santa Claus is very creative and heartwarming. So the film is basically about Jesper, who is a mailman who has to do a certain amount of mail, or else his dad pretty much disowns him. And he meets Klaus, who is a hermited woodsman in the opposite side of the town, who turns out to be a toy maker of sorts. Basically, the way that this film is it kind of turns into a Santa Claus origin story. Now, you might hear that and be like, that's kind of corny, but it actually really works. And it works for a couple of reasons. One, the character of Klaus is actually really well written and very well performed. Klaus is played by J.K. Simmons. Now, the thing that really surprised me is it really took me a while to realize this was J.K. Simmons, because when you think of him, you think of loud, booming voice, you think of J. Jonah Jameson, you think of Whiplash, just a scary-sounding individual who is very loud and bombastic. He has a very quiet performance in this that is actually really touching and sweet. It was something I was really not expecting with this character. Now, I think J.K. Simmons did a fantastic job playing this character. And I have to say as well that the emotional center of this film was completely unexpected and actually rather beautiful in the movie. The first half is more of a comedy. The second half goes into a very heartwarming Christmas story about brotherhood and treating your fellow man well and being a good neighbor. Honestly, it was one of the best things about this movie. And then the friendship that happened between Jesper and Klaus as well was another very well done aspect of the film. I have to be honest, in the beginning of the film, I really wasn't enjoying Klaus. I thought the humor was getting grating, and I was honestly really annoyed with the main character. And honestly, I was looking at the film going, okay, this is like Emperor's New Groove. This is like Emperor's New Groove. And I was like, something's wrong because I don't understand why this is so beloved. But by the second half of the film, I instantly understood. It is such a heartwarming, very beautiful film. Another thing that I really like about this movie is the animation. The characters look like nutcrackers come to life, but it's still in a very evocative way. It's a very colorful movie on top of that, and the way everything's animated is very quaint, but the animation still feels very vibrant. It has a lot of life to it, and when it gets into those heartwarming aspects, I think the animation comes into its own in a much deeper way. I really enjoyed this film at the second half, but I gotta be honest, the first half is kind of what killed it for me. So overall, I'm going to recommend Klaus. But here's the thing. The first half of the film, I really had a hard time enjoying. It wasn't bad, but I thought the humor was grating. But in the second half, the emotional center comes out in the film, and it becomes a very heartwarming and beautiful Christmas movie. I can honestly see myself watching this every year and enjoying it. It's really that good of a film towards the second half of the film. Maybe the first half's comedy will actually warm over to me, but I think the best parts of the film are the animation, J.K. Simmons, and the really heartwarming end to the film. I actually really enjoyed this film, but because of the first half, I can only give it a recommendation. So overall, I do recommend Klaus. Check it out on Netflix if you have not seen it.
Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to.
All right, so for Tuesday, I'll be reviewing Arthur Christmas. Thursday, me and Zero are going to be reviewing Edward Scissorhands. And on Saturday, I'll be reviewing a Christmas film from Finland, and it's called Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale. I don't know much about this movie, but I am definitely curious to see how this turns out. So, once again, Tuesday, I'll be reviewing Arthur Christmas. Thursday, me and Zero are going to be reviewing Edward Scissorhands. And on Saturday, I'll be reviewing Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale. I am the Wiz, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.